Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring 2.0. 2.0, Joel Pearl. You excited?
You did the thing. You did the 2.0 thing, just like everyone else did.
I figure we're a little into the second year of our podcast. So what good of reason as any to call it 2.0?
Isn't that weird? Calling this the second year?
Yeah, it is weird.
Remember when we were starting this thing and we were like, hey, we're in a pandemic? And then we did a show.
almost into the second year of that too.
Oh, that's a weird thing to think about. But
if you're not weird,
quit. If you're weird and you won't quit just like us, toss us a thumbs up on the video if you're watching us live on YouTube. If you're doing the audio thing, do us a favor, hit a 5-star review. Do that. Hit us up with a 5-star review, because what that does is it gets our
gets our blood pumping. It gets our juices flowing.
It gets our brand of BS, let's face it, into your ears and into the ears of friends who may be looking for other wrestling content, because that's what we do. We create wrestling content. Leave a comment over here on this here video. Subscribe to the channel here at timandjoelpod.com if you can. By the way, we have a Discord. It's free for now to enter. There's a link in the video description. You can get in on it. Yes, LFG. We're not going to swear in the first minute or else the YouTube algorithm gives me a whole lot of guff. Tim, how are you feeling today?
Good. Had an apple. Drink some coffee.
Are you feeling all gassed up? Are you ready for a big show? Are you ready to talk about title changes? Are you ready to talk about long-term storytelling? Are you ready to talk about Saudi Arabia?
No.
Well, I don't want to talk about that either, but it's going to come up a couple times.
Not going to watch it. You can tell me what happens. I don't care.
Probably will happen. Every time they've done a Saudi show, I've been at work watching the show on a separate screen while everyone's just like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just keeping up. And then they sit and watch with me. They're like, why are they in Saudi Arabia? And then it becomes a whole conversation about why they shouldn't actually be in Saudi Arabia. It's kind of nuts. But anyway, not the point. We have new champions. We have a new WWE champion. We've got Big E. Cashed in Money in the Bank Monday night. Won himself a title. Did not expect it. Don't know about you.
Big ass shock. I like when he tweeted that. I was like, ugh, why are they doing this? How annoying. Come on. Don't do this. He's going to show up. Nothing's going to happen. Raw's going to suck. Neither of those things. Raw wasn't terrible. And Big E did win. He cashed in. He did what he said he was going to do, which is the most face way of doing it. He announced it. He warned him. Bobby Lashley should have known, right? Don't gas yourself. You're going to have 2 matches tonight. 2 matches.
And he definitely put out for both matches. I got to say, I was really big into Bobby Lashley. When we talk about Raw very shortly, we'll talk about the match. We'll talk about the title change. Talk about what we expected, what we didn't expect. And like you said, I didn't expect that to happen.
No,
he literally went on socials and said, yeah, it's true what Sean Ross Sapp said. I will be on Raw and I'm going to cash in my Money in the Bank. And I sat there and I said, no friggin' way. But he does it. Kind of nuts.
Bravo. Good job, WWE. On the head.
I wouldn't go that far. It was fine. Let's talk about NXT. First of all, Sunday night, we couldn't do our Sunday show, Tim and Joel Call in the Ring, because I was traveling this time. Next week, housekeeping note, I'm traveling on Wednesday. I'm heading over to New York to do the Arthur Ashe show. So we'll see about a show. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We got to start doing two videos for real, Tim. We
stop going out in the world. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous out there. So I bring a COVID test. Take this. Oh, but thank you very much, Crankman. We're happy to be here. So NXT. So on Sunday night, as I'm getting ready for my flight, I find out Samoa Joe relinquishes the NXT title. He says it's due to injury. And I say to myself, and I put it out on the internet, they should have just kept it on Cross until Kyle O'Reilly beat him for it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is a legit injury, right?
I think it's a legit injury.
Well, then what can you do? They didn't know. They didn't know that was going to happen.
But they have a history of injury with Joe.
True.
Whatever. That's been my problem.
They have a history of injury with Cross.
They do. I mean, Cross's injury was one time. Joe, it's been every time something happens, he gets injured again. And I love Samoa Joe. I'm not saying bad things about Samoa Joe. I'm just saying they shouldn't have rushed into that title match. They shouldn't have rushed into the title change, and they shouldn't have given him that title. They shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And I don't care for the stupid conspiracy
I wouldn't
theories.
call it stupid, man. It is like a weirdly timed thing, but then their decision to give it to Champa tells me that it probably is a shoot injury. Like,
Yes,
in
thank you.
all likelihood, it's just I don't know for sure, but yeah, their decision for Champa to be the victor in that, yeah, he probably got hurt.
So they do so many new things last night on NXT. Let's start with it.
Oh my god.
But also they go back to Saturday night's main event opening again, and they do the Bruce Pritchard's favorite style of opening a show, which is everyone in a main event does their little promo, their gas up promo for 30 seconds.
They have to work in the 2.0, which was
exactly
the corniest shit. Like the opening, I didn't mind. I don't mind those openings. Fair. Like I don't. But like them having to sandwich in some garbage theme drives me nuts because it's so corny.
Yeah. So they do that opening, but I got to give it to them. They do LA Knight. They do La Knight. Yeah. And he does his thing as the former Bronson Rex Steiner, the former Rex Steiner, now Braun Breaker, approaches him. I don't know what that was about. I don't like it. Most people don't like it.
Whose entire gimmick appears to be, what's up?
He's a dog-faced gremlin, just like his daddy.
He hunches his shoulders like a fucking idiot. Like,
sorry, but I really liked it. I liked him. I liked him coming out. I liked him challenging LA Knight. Yes. I liked that they really wanted to start fresh, so they did it. A guy that they just recently hired. Yeah. And they put him in the singlet, and he looks like his dad, and he talks like his dad and his uncle. There's a certain amount of familiarity that's there. And I think people are going to latch onto that.
And that's I don't know. I don't like that the singlet was like splash paint like the logo. I thought that was a bit too much.
But it's not like the logo. It's exactly what his dad used to wear to the ring.
Okay, so I don't know shit about Rick Steiner.
That's fair.
Big Papa Pump. That is literally it. And this guy does not scream Big Papa Pump to me. Didn't know they were related at all. Had no idea who this guy was. He just came out. He had a stupid ass name. He kept popping his shoulders up like a goofball. And when I think LA Knight called him like what he said something about his eyes, like cross-eyed or something.
Oh, I missed that.
But like, and I was like, yeah, he just seems like a dumbass. But yeah, sure. And then him winning was a surprise. The theme of the night was "fuck LA Knight," which is fine, really I guess. Was. Like, I mean, that poor guy. I love LA Knight. I think he's got one of the most interesting personalities on NXT. He came in hot, he kept it hot, and it's just like, fuck LA Knight.
And like I say in the chat, it's very weird to have a dude challenging for the world title in the main event lose the opener.
Him choosing to have a match is a weird decision.
Well, I think that's just the cockiness of LA Knight,
which is fine. That it's workable, but like to have him eat maybe that's what they did, to have him eat 2 pins to give the excuse that he already lost a match early in the night. Like,
well, let's not forget what WWE is all about. They're gonna squash the guy, give him a ton of losses, and then they're gonna turn around. They're gonna give him the big one. So the odds of LA Knight, taking that NXT championship from Tommaso Ciampa just went up exponentially.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we removed him really from this. But there's also a potential, like I expect a Kyle O'Reilly feud, but it looks like they're going right into Breaker.
But that's fine because
that was the other thing. Every time people addressed Braun Breaker, they said Braun Breaker, and it pissed me off. It's like, he's in the back. Just call him Braun.
Well, here's the thing. They had a guy named Braun, and they recently released him. But on top of that, did you see what his finisher is?
Yeah.
The power slam. Yeah. Just like another Braun we used to know.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting idea for them to do that. Speaking of interesting ideas,
and I don't know, it drives me nuts because that's not how human beings address each other. They don't say their full name like.
Well, no, I mean, listen. Yeah, I was gonna say, how many people call me Joel Pearl on a regular basis? I even talked about this when I was with the Fight for Folks in Vegas.
When the first and last name are single syllables, happens all the time. I got another friend, same deal. But like,
all right,
Braun Breaker, no.
I mean, it's alliteration, and it rolls off someone said it rolls off tip of the tongue. You're always going to say it.
Sure as hell doesn't. I disagree.
Well, I hear you. What did you think of the new venue? What did you think of the new CWC repaint?
I really like it. Yeah, I really like it. I like the set immensely. It's way better. I like the white mat, white ropes. I like being able to see the crowd. As lame as they are, though, holy shit, same crowd. Wish they could just like ban some people and bring in some new ones.
Whole lot of knees in the crowd, eh?
Yeah, it was just like, oh man, like the
Um,
dancing behind the things was like y'all corny, and then that guy who does the head row,
oh, I
same.
was big mad at that guy. I could not
So
deal with him.
annoying. Shut the
So I'll tell you, I liked the way it looked. It looked bigger. Holy crap! What happens when you stop painting everything black and suddenly
Yeah.
the venue is much brighter, much more. It's much more. I don't use the word sanitary, but you get the idea. It's very clean, and that's
Yeah.
it's very much a WWE thing. And it's very sensory overload is a good way to put it, because that is WWE as well. Any show you go to, any show you watch from them, it's very much a sensory overload.
One of those experiences, you know, that
Yes.
all-consuming branding.
Even the way that the LED board is set up at the top of the entranceway, it's very overload, but it looks really good and it looks clean, and I can't complain about that. Everyone who sat and said, oh, it's done, NXT is dead, this is it, it's going to be Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn now. No, you know what? They did a lot of things good last night. For example, let's just get to this. So we saw Braun Breaker debut. Ivy Nile is officially a part of the Diamond Mine. She's the former Emily Anzula. She's been in vignettes with Diamond Mine for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
Brooks Jensen is the recently signed Ben Buchanan, who is Bull Buchanan's son. So there's another guy who just recently signed. Trick Williams, who came out with Carmelo Hayes, was in the same class at the PC. That's Matrix Belton. So there's another new guy that they brought out. Von Wagner is the former Cal Bloom, who was the unofficial head of NXT security for the longest time, because he would be there for years. So it was Cam Hawkins on Twitter was just like, who the hell is this guy? And I said, you've been seeing him for 3 years straight in every single scene where NXT security exists. And people were just like, holy shit, it's true.
How do you not recognize that brow, right? Like, that's pretty recognizable.
And it's not even, it's not the hair, it's the skin.
It's his brow. Like,
yeah, it's kind of,
he's got that Cro-Magnon skull.
And finally, Tony D'Angelo is the former Joe Areola.
The Chicago mobster with a New York accent.
Whoever passed that, I have so many questions. It wasn't very good. It was not good.
Corny.
It was so corny. Yeah. And you know what? They put it out there to take everyone's eyes away from Braun Breaker. That's what happened. So they did a lot of new, and that's the thing. Like, they debuted so many new talent, especially ones that they just recently brought on in the last 6 months to the PC, because that's what this is. It's developing talent. Yeah. And that's a little bit of the old school NXT way. And I like that. As someone who's followed NXT for a long time, I like that there's a lot of names that I've looked at, that I've followed, that I've wanted to know more about. They brought those guys and girls out. And I want to see more of that, because that is what developing talent is about. You don't just bring on the same people all the time. You got to change it up.
Comically, it looks like they've transitioned Diamond Mine into what I originally assumed it was going to be, which is like an MMA fight gym with, what I was hoping for was really, really like jacked, sculpted people, which they now have in what's her name? Ivy?
Yeah, Ivy Nile.
Ivy Nile. Didn't love the hasn't seen a carb promo. Whatever. You're an idiot. But it was fine.
Yeah, listen, overall it was good. BFAB has their opening debut match. I said earlier in the day, when they announced that that BFAB was having her match, I said, they're going to bring out Katrina Cortez and they're going to beat the shit out of her. And boy, did they ever. And it was not a good match. It was not. But my feeling was, they're going to beat up all the Latino talent that like Hit Row is, because that's the story. I thought they were going to try and take Cortez's mask.
I think they should. It's not a good-looking mask.
They're not going to do it anymore. That's done. But I thought maybe just to do something, I thought maybe they tried to take a mask. But I do like Elektra Lopez coming out.
Though, at that point. Like she's unrelated to Legado del Fantasma other than being Hispanic.
It's only a hate crime if they burn the mask. So Elektra Lopez and the rest of our friends in Stantasma come out. And they talk, and it's a good talk for BFAB and Lopez. What did you think?
Yeah, BFAB's been great on the mic, like really great on the mic. Hopefully better in the ring. I don't know if that was a partner situation, or like how much they work on a squash match, but
listen, where in the world is Elektra Lopez? That's the that's the fit. That's the outfit. That's what she's wearing.
I don't really remember. It was like a Carmen Sandiego look. Did she have a hat?
100%. Yes,
she's got that hat.
She's got a big brim hat, and she's got a big lawn. She's got the Carmen Sandiego jacket that who saw it? Becky Lynch saw it a few weeks ago and was like, I can do better than that. I can't do her accent. But anyway, she said,
she's got
I'll
a
do
weird voice regardless.
So anyway, those suits, we stand Tasman with those suits. Let me tell you, they were dressed to the nines. And of course, they do the studio segment for Hit Row earlier. And by the way, you want to know how much NXT has changed? They turned on the lights in the Hit Row studios.
This is cool. Look good. Sounded good.
It looked good.
It's all stuff. Yeah.
We did see Braun Breaker versus LaKnight. Yeah.
Poor LaKnight. It was a good match though. I like Braun Breaker's got a good moveset. I'll give him that.
He's the guy they're going to push moving forward. He is the new face, and I'm fine with it.
I just want him to have a more defined personality, but that will come with time.
Yes.
I don't need him to just be a Steiner. I don't give a crap. Like I never found them terribly engaging. Big Papa Pump was interesting, but he was so bad on the mic to the point where it's like its own thing.
I think if you go back and you watch WCW before
that's
Big
the thing.
Papa
I don't know.
Pump,
yeah,
but I'm saying like back when Scott, before he did the blonde hair and the mustache and the dye jobs and whatever, he was very different.
Headdress. Yeah.
Yeah, very different. If you go back and look at him, I think you'll see exactly what he was. You know who else changed their hairstyle was Mandy Rose. She's an edgy brunette now, super emo. What'd you think?
That was a big nothing. Big old nothing. She looks like the same Mandy Rose with brown hair.
Oh dear. I
just didn't care. Like it just doesn't matter. Like it's still a weird combination of people.
I didn't love it either. I don't know what I expected. I just did not expect. I didn't expect that, and then I was let down by that. But I also didn't expect Mandy Rose to come out and be like, I shaved my head, bitch.
That's the thing. Like that's the only thing that would have made it work. She wasn't gonna do that. So I don't know.
Went like super like pixie cut.
Yeah. Like a proper really short haircut. Maybe a mohawk.
Instead of just she's a brunette. It's like that episode of The Simpsons with Stacy gets a new hat. Yeah, right. It's Malibu Stacy. It's just the same Malibu Stacy as ever, but she's got a new hat. It's that. And then everyone went wild. By the way, speaking of wild, the 6-woman tag that they transitioned into, that went wild. They had a real good one between Catanzaro and Saray, and then the three of those girls, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, Mandy Rose. They're calling themselves the Toxic Avengers. I don't know.
Hate that. But good match.
It was a good match. And then, of course, I had to point out the theme again. Marilyn Manson ripoff.
Oh, yeah. It's so blatant. I don't understand.
People were like, "Oh, I've never realized this before." It's been for 4 weeks.
Yeah, it couldn't be more obvious. And again, like, great time to choose that, you weirdos.
Exactly. Well, whatever.
Like, as you're like, they must have known the direction they were going more than 4 weeks ago when they chose
I think
that.
I think they did. I think they did.
So it's like, why would you set up characters like this? Why would you use the theme popularized by someone who is now super canceled? Like,
oh boy,
not that he had ever hidden any of that, but
I don't know. If they are the only holdouts from Leather Daddy NXT, Metalhead NXT, then so be it. Let them be the only darkness of NXT. Did you like the picture-in-picture with Kyle O'Reilly getting taken out by Dunn and Ridge during the women's match?
I mean, when some random just ran into the locker room, I knew what was going to happen, and exactly that happened.
It was very strange. I just didn't like the timing. It was put in a really weird place during the women's match. It just kind of took away from it. But either way, the match itself, the 6-woman tag was good, and they play up the Saray and Mandy angle even further. I'm fine with that. Where did the face mask go? Was she wasn't wearing it?
Yeah, it's all better. All better now. Wade Barrett still won't have her, but he's an asshole.
Yes, right. He only likes blonde women. Don't know why that happened.
I like that little interaction on the commentary though. Point out Wade Barrett being a shallow piece of shit, and
That's right.
Beth just being like, "You're one to speak with your smashed up nose."
Oh well, we get to the. I'm fast forwarding. We're not going to go through everything. Champa wins the NXT Championship. I was
Big
shocked.
surprise for me. We in our Discord, join the Discord, link in the description. I explicitly said, yeah, I don't see them giving it to Champa. I think they'll put him right back with Timmy Thatcher as soon as he's good to go. But
nope. Once they took out Kyle O'Reilly, that's when I knew it was no longer LA Knight's game. Yeah, I just really wanted to keep doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted LA Knight to win, but I,
Me too.
in my heart knew damn well he wasn't going to. I thought Kyle O'Reilly had a good shot. And yeah, Evan in the chat mentioning like, why not LA Knight getting jumped? I think I would have preferred that, but it doesn't make as much sense to set up a feud. Right. Like now Kyle's going to fight Dunn and or Ridge Holland.
Or both. Or maybe Kyle O'Reilly gets a new friend in Trey Baxter. I'm fine with that.
No friends for Kyle O'Reilly. He left friends behind. He's cool on his own now.
Why can't Kyle have cool friends or not cool friends like Trey Baxter?
Bring back Carlito.
No, he's not cool enough.
Cool Kyle.
My goodness. Okay, so we got so Champa defeats Von Wagner, the former Cal Bloom. For some reason, he was put into the match after his years of service as an NXT unofficial security head. Peter Dunn and LaKnight. Yeah. So Pete Dunn recently re-signed a contract with WWE. That news dropped yesterday. Good for him. Congratulations. I think it's the right choice because he produced for NXT UK. There are opportunities for Pete Dunn beyond the wrestling ring, and I think he wants to take those opportunities, whether that's domestic or back in the UK. He has those options. So for him to re-sign, for me, that made the most sense. Don't know if you had a different feeling about that.
No, like it makes sense. I think his style plays better into WWE anyway with the finger snap and crap. So it just.
Yeah, I agree. So Pete Dunne's in the match, and because of this match, people thought Pete Dunne was going to win because he just re-signed re-signed with NXT. Not so much my thing.
I thought there was an outside chance for that, but yeah, I really thought it was going to be Kyle O'Reilly or maybe LA Knight. But yeah. Champa.
And instead, we had a quick match. It was under 10 minutes, I believe, and Champa steals the pin, and he steals it from Von Wagner.
On poor LA Knight.
For LA Knight, he gets pinned twice in one night. Yeah. Oh, I hate it.
Poor guy.
And the match wasn't great. I do admit that.
And it wasn't. It really wasn't.
It was rushed. Something was. They were trying to do breakneck speeds, which is, by the way, which I found interesting. A lot of people who normally praise AEW, and I'm sorry to make this an AEW, WWE, or NXT thing.
No,
people who normally praise AEW for their pacing had a lot of shit to talk about NXT's pacing.
Which is where I like it. I like that quick pace because, like, honestly, if you linger too long on this stuff, it shows how dumb it is. Yeah. So, like, I liked the clip that everything worked at. Like, I thought that the pacing was because I like AEW's pacing. I really do. Like, I think that doing things faster with these short segments, getting as much because you only need to tell a little bit of story every week so that you can build up to a big pay-per-view match. I don't need like long segments. I need quick bits constantly to remind me that these people are still on the roster. And then everyone gets a little feature every week, right? Rather than getting pushed to the shadows. So I liked the pacing a lot.
And I enjoyed it too. There were moments where I was like, I could have waited a minute. But overall, I didn't hate it. I found it very interesting that the conversation online became like, oh, it's going too fast. And meanwhile, on a Wednesday, I'll see a lot of people being like, not talking about it. It was just, it was very strange. So let's move on. I do want to bring this up in the chat. Dan is talking about Kyle O'Reilly never winning the title and then Champa dropping it to Steiner and then a new gen stays in the picture. That's his opinion. I don't disagree, but I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to be either a champion soon or on the main roster without having won the title, which is fine too, as long as there's something there for him.
Yep.
Put him in the draft.
I don't know that it's totally off the table yet. Again, like their willingness to give it to Champa, even if it's transitional, was surprising and fine with. Like I'm pleased by that. I'm not as concerned.
I don't know if I'm willing to give NXT or WWE this benefit. With Kyle O'Reilly being pulled from the match, I think there is a longer path for him to get that title, which will make it a bigger deal when he does.
Yeah. And I mean, it could just be that Pete Dunne stays in the title picture and then takes it and they have a thing. Like it's a possibility. I
I wouldn't mind that. And also,
Yeah,
you know what
same.
else you can do? Ciampa just just won the title. Johnny Gargano's contract is up at the end of the year. First of all, I'm going to say, like, I'll put it out here right now. I don't think Johnny Gargano is AEW bound. I also don't think Johnny Gargano is staying in WWE. I also don't think Johnny Gargano is going to any other company, at least anytime soon. Johnny has a kid on the way. He's very openly talked about being a stay-at-home dad. He's very openly discussed wanting to see his wife succeed in wrestling. I have a feeling that Johnny is going to say goodbye at the end of this contract and hang out at home, at least for a little while his kid grows up. That's my feeling.
Fine to me. That
Whether
seems
I'm
like
right, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. He's had a great run. Like nothing to be ashamed. That's a good career. You can
And
come
you know
back
how
and do vignettes anywhere in the world. Like
And you want to know how you finish that career? You tap that career. You have a career versus title match at a takeover at whatever big event, because apparently there are no takeovers on the NXT calendar through November. So something's changing, regardless what it is. If it's Gargano and Ciampa one last time as the blow off and the end of Gargano's career in NXT, that's fine by me. That's my feeling. So let's talk about the wedding. Speaking of Johnny Gargano. Listen, everyone kept talking about the wedding trope and talking about how nothing ever happens at a wrestling wedding. So they had to get married. They had to.
You knew that they were going to go through it. This was the dumbest shit, and I loved all of it.
Yeah, it was, and it was really, really funny. And I think it hit a home run with almost everyone.
I really dug it. The axe in the jacket was so fun, and then at the end where he just flashes it again.
Now, first of all, I have to say, and I've said this forever, wrestling needs more hatchets.
Yeah.
So good on our man Dexter Lumis for bringing hatchets back to wrestling. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. Big fan of that. Ikman Jiro with the rings. What Austin Theory just playing dumb dog. It's being like, we're in a ring, or I brought a priest. Silly, stupid, amazing shit. I loved it.
It was good.
What do you think of Dexter Lumis choking out the priest?
Funny. Stupid. Again, it was stupid. Everything in it was stupid, but that was funny. Don't care.
Yeah, but you know what? Dexter steals this whole thing, thumbs up, and then eventually he talks.
He said, I do, in a voice I wasn't expecting, because I've never heard him speak.
Do you imagine if he had like the Brock Lesnar voice? He's like,
Well, that's the thing. I think he still kind of does. Like it's high. It's a higher register than I would have expected, much like Brock Lesnar's.
What did you expect it to sound like? I do.
No, like a Burt Reynolds, maybe. That type of sound.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it was funny. It was silly. Andre Chase, our dollar store Lin-Manuel Miranda is back, baby.
That was the dumbest segment of all of it.
I just like Odyssey Jones slapping him and being like, stay down.
It was a moment for Odyssey Jones because the crowd immediately booed Chase for that terrible thing.
Yeah.
And then Odyssey just choked him down. I was like, yep.
And then so they say I do. They do the rings, they do the kissing, they do the thing. Earlier, by the way, I loved when Candace is Candace is talking to Cora and Jade in the back. They're getting them ready. And Cora's like, oh, I'm going to wear this nice hat. And Candace is like, could you not?
You're already
like, I thought I would bring it together. You're already screwing everything up. It was good stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
Very much made that. So overall, I mean, you get the post-wedding.
The video package also, I want to say, was great. Like you could really tell that the people in the back were just like, oh, thank God, something like with a different cadence. They were just like, oh, I can do something that isn't just the same tone.
Yeah.
Overall, had fun with it.
Overall, great presentation. Really enjoyed it. And post-wedding, Ciampa's in the back watching with Goldie on his shoulder, and out comes Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
Hello,
Braun Breaker.
Got to give it to Braun Breaker. He definitely knows locker room etiquette. Goes over, he shakes everybody's hand.
Yeah, he seems like he's just a puppy dog, right? That's
Just happy to
his
be
entire
here.
personality. Happy to be here. Get all those shoulder shrugs in, looking like those guys on TikTok doing the funny dance.
They're all funny dances.
They're all
though,
funny
for sure.
dances. That doesn't narrow it down. I don't know. I'm
That's
not going to
cool.
stand up and do it. The camera won't even catch it.
All right, that's fair. So that's the end of the show. That's the end of NXT. That's not the end of our show. Let's keep going. We're going to talk about Raw because ratings. No, that's not why we talk about it.
we don't have ratings.
We could. Let's start from the bottom. We'll move our way up because this might be fun. Dewdrop versus Eva Marie. First of all, wasn't better this time.
Nope.
And Eva Marie is getting those reps in for when she becomes Queen of the Ring.
That's not going to happen at this pace. I think.
Who do you think becomes Queen of the Ring then? Tell me.
Tell me. Charlotte.
Too obvious.
Too boring, but it'll happen.
Too on the nose. I disagree. I don't think it's going to be Charlotte. I don't think they're going to go that heavily into it, especially because she's brought back calling herself the queen sometimes, but more than ever, they're talking about her being the opportunity.
The opportunity. When's Bailey back?
She had 9 months when she was injured, and that was around WrestleMania time. Before WrestleMania.
When's the oh no, they're doing it this Saudi
October.
Shit.
Yeah, and also it's going to be a few
won't be
episodes
back.
in. No. I'm telling you, man, Eva Marie's going to win the Queen of the Ring, and Jinder Mahal's going to win the King of the Ring.
Well, that all sucks.
And I love it. Omos is a star, wins it for his team in the 8-man tag.
He is clearly going for the WWE Championship at some point.
That's fine by me because the way that he manhandled those 4 guys who were wrapped around him on Raw, good stuff. I love it.
Big E versus Omos. Here it comes.
Yes, bring me.
Again, he destroyed Randy Orton, 14-time champion.
Just saying. If Omos and AJ get another friend, they can do 6-man tags versus the New Day.
Look, if the great Khali did it, Omos can do it.
I think so.
He's already better.
Nikki versus Tamina, Natty versus Rhea. Don't care about those matches. Natty yells, "Bitch!" whenever she can.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. The Rhea and Nikki thing is weird. Part of it makes it seem like they're like coded as a couple, which is odd to me. Like that's the vibe I'm getting from it, and it's strange. I don't know.
I think it's just the idea that those two came up together. That they literally debuted at the same times.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird vibe. Matches or whatever.
Don't need to talk about it. A ring announcer says Tamina won a match when Nikki won the match. It was weird. By the way, Schnoxy, when are you getting your tag title shot? Because they're owed one after they beat them 50 times.
They just harass people in the back with the tank. That's their role now.
Actually kind of like that on SmackDown. We won't talk about it, but I like that they did that on SmackDown.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Just keep them there. Keep them on the tank, just rolling around doing random shit. And it's always got to be to Paul.
Yeah.
Everyone has to torment
Everyone
Paul.
Just keep tormenting Paul. Yes, please.
Because now you need
Paul Heyman.
You need to add someone to torment Paul now that Big E is WWE champion over on Raw. Someone's got to torment Paul.
Get our truth over there. Figure it out.
Listen, give him the 24/7 title. He can float over to SmackDown. He can do whatever he wants. I like it. Karrion Kross is now Sean O'Hare, circa 2002. If you haven't seen those promos, go on the internet and search them. Because that was all he did is, I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know.
My name is Karrion Kross. I have a body count.
Yes, he did it in Impact too, but no one cares. Charlotte, Alexa, this was the segment of the night, if you ask me. Okay. Do you disagree?
I mean, it was pretty funny.
All right, so they're finally doing Nia versus Shayna next week. Finally, just end it. Like end the tag team. Let them move on. Let them do literally whatever. Because Charlotte and Shayna have a match. It's fine. It's actually a pretty good match. And of course, Nia does the distraction, and then Charlotte gets the win. Charlotte's moonsault. Does it make sense to you?
No, she lands upright. It's more of a like weird hug. Although sometimes she catches him with a straight up knee to the skull, which is like clearly not on purpose, but like that. Yeah, like she did it into a group of people a couple weeks ago. Nikki Ash.
It was at SummerSlam when she had the twist.
Yeah. Nikki Ash like just got completely demolished.
Just ate shit. I don't know what happened.
But yeah, normally it's just she lands behind them or beside them and just
and then just takes them down next to her.
Yeah, I've never dug it. I don't know.
I've never understood it, and they've never fixed it. They just said do the moonsault as you. It was weird.
I mean,
Someone tried to tell me.
it's an impressive backflip.
Yes,
It's just
it's
a
not a
backflip.
moonsault.
It's not an attack.
Anyway, so out comes Alexa Bliss.
Yeah,
Got a present, and she's like, "Let your hair down." And Charlotte's like, "It already is down." And she's like fiddling with the hair. It's cute. And then finally, they do the gift thing, and they're like, "Take the gift." She's like, "I don't want the gift. Take the gift. I don't want the." And the crowd loves it. They're eating it up.
Yeah.
And then finally, Charlotte relents, and she's like, "Oh, okay, you're right. I do love gifts." And I was like, "Okay, this is gonna go the best way." And she opens it, and it's the doll.
Looks just like her.
And it looks just like her. And it's got a little Raw Women's Championship on it.
Yes,
because what have I told you since the dawn of this whole gimmick?
Merchandise.
Exactly.
Merchandise.
You put a mini Raw Women's Championship on whoever has the doll, and the stupid doll goes up another
sold
10,
separately.
And you do sell it separately because you never know which doll. So when they do it for Becky Lynch, it's going to be even better. And Alexa's like, everybody deserves a friend, even a narcissistic, self-absorbed bitch like you.
Best line.
Best line. And everyone popped. I loved it. And I just thought the acting from Alexa Bliss was actually really good.
She's always like,
moments.
like her acting stuff is pretty good. Like I don't know. She's always been pretty good at that. She's really gone all in on this, difficult thing to put over, but it's working. WWE used the word bitch in a way that wasn't hilarious for once.
It wasn't Natty in a match just yelling bitch.
Yeah. Or some dude calling some guy a bitch and then them having to fight because there's no other way around that.
That Charlie doll, is it going to be a voodoo thing? What do you think?
She threw it in the trash. It's going to be a Revenant thing, that's for sure. So
you might want to explain that for the folks at home.
It's going to come back. It's going to be a spectral figure. It's going to be spooky. Spooky shit going to happen.
Remember when they did that with Shayna Baszler and the next week she was totally fine?
Yep. Make Shayna Baszler the queen of the ring. There you go.
I mean, she is.
That's how you rebuild her. That's how you rebuild her. Exactly.
That's a very good idea. I do like that one because she's been resting on the Queen of Spades long enough. And like we said, Charlotte is the opportunity. You can do it. Make Shayna Baszler.
Here's the thing with the Eva stuff. Like, as pain in the ass and weird Vince can be, I think he can see that. I think he sees her weak spots and what she's not doing well and how she's telegraphing the finish every time. And I don't think he appreciates that. I don't know the man, but like, I get the vibe that he appreciates people who can at least do the wrestling part correctly.
It could be also that Eva Marie,
minus the Great Khali, he's got a soft spot for enormous men.
Of course, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Don't we all? Anyway, with Eva Marie, it's very possible that it's just a big rib on all of us because she doesn't wrestle, she can't wrestle. Therefore,
she really can't.
Therefore, we keep putting her out there. Whatever. I like your idea. Maybe we'll do Shayna Baszler's Queen of the Ring. I also don't know because let's face it, they haven't really done anything with Shayna either. But she's shown enough character over the last 2 years that they might be ready to do something.
Yeah, but they did fire all her friends, which is a shame because she could have helped to have that to help build the character more, right?
Of course. Well, we're also building here. So why don't you toss us a thumbs up on this video? Why don't you leave us a comment? Maybe subscribe to the channel or tell your friends about it if you haven't already, because let's face it, we don't build without you and we love you. And I love Big E winning the WWE title. We opened the show on Raw with MVP and Lashley and Randy and Riddle and Big E, and they all come out, and I love MVP asking why are they doing the title match tonight and not the tag match? I like that he asked the question. I like that he got the answer from Randy, even though it was because I'm Randy Orton and I politicked my way into it.
I went in and I asked.
Yeah. But he made it make sense. And it goes back to the Lance Storm explanation of Raw that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. No, and I really like, as long as they do stuff like that, I don't mind the changes. Like there's other examples of that they did well last night. Nikki Ash when DeVille misspoke and said AHS. The commentary commented on it, which is like, yes, please do that more. Like I hate when they just roll past weird little mistakes that most people are going to catch. Like just
dig into.
Just talk about it real quick, and it doesn't become a thing. Like
right.
Like, I think Corey Graves is just like, unless she's been thinking about American Horror Story, like it's, whatever. Cool. People misspeak.
Yeah.
But, like, don't just ignore it for no reason. Like, it's, anyway, it's good. And this was a great explanation of just like why they had changed that match. And clearly it was because, we got to pump this show, and give that, the setup, but it was good. Loved it.
Riddle's just like, can you not cash in on Randy? And then MVP just being like, shut up.
See,
Shut your mouth.
this was actually my favorite segment. That opening segment, Lashley's bits were
okay.
great. Like, he cut some great promo. What was it? He was
did.
like, I'm gonna don't you even think about cashing that in. If you do, I'll shove that briefcase so far up your ass you're gonna read the fine print.
I love that you're gonna taste the fine print. It's very good. Right. I really liked it. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but when MVP was kind of telling the Big E story, him going to SmackDown, becoming a single star, going solo, blah, blah, blah. And while still playing a heel, he mentions Brock Lesnar, and Bobby Lashley is like, I'm not scared of him. They did a little,
saw that. Yeah.
They want to do Lashley and Lesnar. They want to get there. I could tell.
That was good.
And so let's fast forward to the end of the night. We do the match. It's hard hitting, a lot of outside work for Randy and for Lashley. I liked that once Randy hit the RKO, we thought it was over. No, MVP drags Lashley under the ring ropes, and Riddle's just freaking out, doesn't know how to feel. And then, what do? We do the RKO to MVP outside the ring. Lashley retains, and then he beats down Randy. He injures his knee in the process, injures in quotation marks, and he sells it like a champ. He had me. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. And then now comes Big E, and we go to commercial.
Yeah, the commercial.
A lot of people were upset about that. Turned out, by the way, that commercial break gave everyone enough time to contact their friends, family members, loved ones, and say, guess what's about to happen? Because you know what happens next? Big E wins the title. And also, going to the ratings, that was the highest rated segment of the entire night.
Because they gave them the chance for people to go and phone home.
I'm glad you know. Big E sold me on the spear, the spear from Lashley to Big E really sold me. I love it.
They were going to crush his dreams.
I had a feeling maybe they do it, or at least have some weird, like, messed up finish. But instead, no, they do the 2 count. They go to the big ending, and Big E's a champion. New Day runs out, celebrate, which was really great, really heartfelt. Boston loses their mind. Really good ending to the show.
Yeah, it was really, really strong.
One thing I want to add. I don't know if you listen to the New Day's podcast.
No.
If you don't, this week's episode was one to listen to. In the first 20 minutes of the show, they're talking about mental health. This was after Daphne's passing.
Yeah.
And so Big E gives a whole 20 minutes about his struggles with mental health, dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, the people he's spoken to, the ways that he's learned to cope with some of these issues. And I think for them to less than a week later, or less than 24 hours later, have him win the WWE title, that's a huge moment for destigmatization of mental health. I think that was great.
Yeah, I think, I mean, he's just, you saw on Twitter, like, everyone breaking kayfabe to basically, like, the dude is beloved.
He is. To the point where they had him on the bump today, and they had every heel champion, or they had Becky Lynch at least, come on and give E his flowers and say nothing but nice things.
Yeah. And like if you saw the photo they're using for his championship reign, he's got his big, like, shit-eating grin on it too, which is just like, it's a good, like, screw you to all the haters, because there's been so many people criticizing, like, his character, which is such a, like, I don't see what there's even is to criticize. Like,
he's not serious enough, Tim.
Serious is dumb. It's pro wrestling.
It is, and I agree.
Like,
and I'm
look
glad
how
that
that's working out for Karrion Kross.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad to see Big E in this position. I'm hopeful that they do something with it. I'm also I realize that it's not the WWE way, especially when they hotshot things. However, Andrew Zarian from Matt Men did say this has been in the works. I think they just bumped it up a little bit quicker than
the timeline is probably just sped up a little bit.
So I hope there's a plan in place.
I think there is, right? Like, we already see, like, Bobby Big E is going to be great. Like, there's so much to work with that, because they've been sowing the seeds of that for so long. Like, all of the MVP Kofi stuff can be worked into the package. You can have the New Day is now reunited. Again, it would be even better if the Hurt business was never disbanded, but whatever.
Want to talk about SmackDown real quick, because we missed Sunday?
No, there was one other thing on Raw I wanted to talk about. What was it?
Oh, sure.
Damian
Is it?
Priest, Jeff Hardy, whatever. That was whatever.
I took that out
Sheamus and his Lucky Charms.
Yeah, that's right.
No, there was something else. There was something much more interesting. Damn it.
Was it Reggie?
Nope. Skipped over
Was
that
it
entirely. Don't care.
Was it Drew and Jinder and Drew getting the entire matchup
Yeah, no, that was nothing.
in the 6-man?
God, that was a long episode of Raw.
I mean, it was 3 hours as he normally is.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that happened on the show. We talked about Cross. We talked about the women's matches. Talked about Omos. Talked about Doudrop, which is a women's match. Talked about Shawn and Alexis, still a women's match. Talked about Bobby and Big E, and talked about Randy.
Yeah, I don't know. It was gone.
Must not be important.
Gone.
That's why we didn't talk about it.
Guess not.
Was it the draft?
It wasn't the draft.
Well,
it was something. It was something about Raw. A comment on Raw. Maybe I already said it. I don't know. Anyway,
probably. Real quick with SmackDown, I've got 4 things. We'll cut it down to 3. Brock at the beginning of the show comes out. Paul flip-flopping was hilarious. Suddenly he's with Brock, but he's not.
I found the for the old time's sake announce thing a little bit jarring. I was like, wait, what? What is happening? Did I miss something? And no, okay.
No. Brock hated talking when he started in WWE, but he's actually become he's solid talker.
Yep. Yeah,
and he loves what he's doing now. He's much calmer.
I love this look. It's cool.
Yes.
He's just a weird farm boy from Saskatchewan.
I love it. They keep touching on Saskatchewan as if it's like
I think no. I think it's him. Like I think it is his home now, and
you think
really
so?
is. Yes, yeah. I think that he's just adopted it so much as part of his personality because he's got a whole compound there. It's like massive, yeah.
And he does a lot for that community. You're right.
It's like when he who shall not be named, Benoit, I think started saying he was from Atlanta. In his announces, like people just change their homes at certain points. Some of them, right?
Yeah. So they're going to run back Brock and Roman in Saudi Arabia. Do you think they're running back in the U.S. as well? What do you think?
I don't know. No, I think they could just do. There's a lot in the pipeline. It feels like for Roman, and I wouldn't be surprised if he drops the title at some point soon. So.
Let's move on. We're going to come back to this whole Roman and Brock and the whole story. Bianca and Becky do the contract signing. First of all, Bianca looks and talks like a star. I thought that was probably one of her best promos and one of her best segments she's done.
This contract signing was good. It's weird that I can say that about any of these segments, but it was good.
Do you want to talk about the coat? The red, puffy, fluffy coat?
I think she's figuring it out. I think Becky's figuring a way out to make this work for me.
Well,
because she's starting to get some heat. Like
she's doing the Conor McGregor thing. She's exactly doing that.
Because you know what? I loved Conor McGregor. Now I hate Conor McGregor.
Fair. And
that's possible. It is possible. And she's doing a great job of building that heat by doing the cowardly shtick, which is, pretty basic. But she's also just such like she's really trying to dig into being just an insufferable douchebag.
Yeah, exactly. Did you know that Becky Lynch has held a WWE championship every day since WrestleMania 35?
That's crazy.
When she won that title, it was, she is. And when she won that title, she held that title until Money in the Bank when she dropped it for pregnancy. And the night she came back, she won a title. She has held a title every night since Mania 35. I mean, that's insane to think about.
Yeah, she's just such a star. Like it's undeniable. And again, I think a lot of it's hype. I don't think she's so special in ring, but her voice, or like the specific character of her voice and her ability to cut promos is, I think it really takes her a long ways. And she's just got a look too, right? Like that when she got that bloody nose, that was it, right? She was
that was it. That was the turning point. And you know what? Everyone faulted Nia Jax for it, which she did punch her in the face. But guess what?
Becky ain't that.
That made her
doesn't remember much apparently, but she's a star. That made her. And it because that image paired with that voice and that attitude and that look is just like
that's it.
Print money.
Bianca catches the contract in her hand. That makes
so smooth. Yeah, that was like if they screwed that up, it would have been like meh. But like that, they just made the whole thing. Yeah.
That was it. So in the main event, we got the tag titles on the line. It's a great title match that ends with another schmoz finish because Roman Reigns runs in, chokes out Montez Ford. At least it was Tez, because now you can at least get them closer to having a random match where Tez loses, but maybe is competitive, puts him up a little bit.
Yep.
But I don't like that at the beginning of the show, they said the Profits won the championship contenders match the week before. That also ended in DQ. Did not enjoy that.
Yeah. There's a couple of things with the build up to this promo or this pay-per-view. The other thing being that there are no stipulations yet for any of the matches.
Yep.
Extreme rules.
I think we'll see a cage for the tag teams.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Keep Roman out.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see what listen, the big news coming out of the Universal title match is now Roman is going to face the Demon, but I don't like that the Demon comes out, and what does Roman do? No sells it completely.
I mean,
did not like that.
He's a little dude in face paint. I don't know.
And if he comes out on Friday and he starts doing that, and for some reason Finn Balor as the Demon does something to get Roman selling for it and scared of it, you got to build that at least the Demon is an important character that only comes out when there's a big match, and they got to build to something with that. Otherwise, it's kind of useless, in my opinion.
Like I said, I think the WWE had their supernatural stuff peak with Kane and the Undertaker, and they've never been able to really manage it well since then.
Bray Wyatt would like a word.
I don't think they managed him well at all. Right? Like, I think they ruined that character on a few different points. So
the Demon is about to see his first loss on main roster. And I say that because let's face it, we're looking at Roman and Brock in Saudi Arabia next month. So they're kind of looking past it. Does this devalue the Demon? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's got to basically dominate, because again, this is how you manage supernatural characters. They have to be more or less invincible. Or you need to do some real plotted out stuff to overcome them, right? Like it can't just be Goldberg randomly destroying someone who has absolutely demolished everyone who came before him. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
It's going to be Lashley.
And then it's so dumb. Like, it does not work. Like, I just stop doing it. You don't need Finn Balor to come out in his little face paint and all that. You didn't need it. Finn Balor is Finn Balor as well, and he does just as well.
Talk about Dynamite, because we got to start moving to the exits. Tonight, Dynamite, big show in Newark. Next week at Arthur Ashe. We'll get to that in a minute. Darby Allin versus noted chair pervert Shawn Spears. We're getting to it, Tim. Darby and Sting versus Shawn and Tully.
What did he call him? Generic?
Who cares?
It was very fun. No, Darby had a good promo on Shawn Spears. I can't remember why this is happening. I'm sure there's a setup. I just don't remember what happened to get us here.
Everyone's just upset. Everyone's just angry at each other.
When did they cross paths? Like, I'm sure it happened. I've just forgotten.
I mean, they did a thing on Dark Elevation.
Oh, no wonder. They did it.
Oh, no. I lied. They did it on Rampage. Rampage. They did it on Rampage.
Okay.
Tully did a thing in the back on Dynamite calling them out, and then on Rampage, they did a whole thing where Spears came out and took out Darby while Sting was talking to Tully, and Sting's back was turned. Tully was at the ramp, and then
perfect. Okay, it is Tully Sting. Okay,
Tully called out Sting.
I knew there was something. I just totally missed it. Which is good. I don't mind. Darby cut a good promo.
And it makes no sense, which is hilarious. What do we do with Darby though?
Old man fight.
It's true. There are enough old men in that. But it goes back to the whole, why are we doing this? Because
oh my God,
they don't use their wrestlers like this.
Old man Royal Rumble just once, just a battle royal full of old men. I want to see it. It's funny.
Sting, Tully, Mark Henry, Big Show. Sorry,
Arn Anderson.
Tall Paul, Arn Anderson. Who else? Brock Anderson, because he's basically the same age as all of them. Who else is it? Taz is in this thing.
For the old and old at heart. Got it. Okay.
It's the Denny's Grand Slam Rumble. The Senior Slam Rumble.
Do it, you cowards.
What do we do with Darby Allin next? What can we do with him?
All right, Shawn Spears, then to I don't know. Someone.
Yes, the Cherry Rumble.
Winner gets a motorized walker.
Motorized walker is even better.
Wait, what is a motorized walker? That sounds dangerous for the elderly.
Run with it. Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do with Darby next. They can't just keep going back to a title. They don't want to do that.
No. And I don't think he needs that. I think
No.
it's weird to float that around him.
Do you want to do the Darby turns on Sting for old time's sake? Because Sting always has his partners turn on him, and then we start the Darby versus Sting process.
I don't think that Sting should work a full feud. I really don't. Like
Malachi Black, that's not a bad idea.
that's actually a good idea. I think that could be cool.
That's got to be after the Arthur Ashe show when Malachi Black officially leaves the Codyverse.
Yes, that's fine. We got Sean and Tully versus Darby and Sting until then.
There we go. Okay, well, let's move on. Eddie Kingston and John Moxley versus 2.0 with Daniel Garcia.
Another 2.0.
That's right. 2.0 rounding out our 2.0 talk. The Suzuki incident, they're going to talk about it. Do you know about the Suzuki incident?
So I skipped most of the entrances. There's something noteworthy about Minoru Suzuki's theme, apparently.
Yeah, so the whole thing is like, it's like a full minute and a half before they get to the chorus. And the chorus people yell the name of the song, which is Kaze ni Nare. And they didn't get to do that this past Wednesday on Dynamite, and so nerds were up in arms about it.
Yeah, so I don't give a shit about that.
You're not alone.
As I just said, I skip a lot of the entrances. And again, I think I said the week before, his music doesn't fit who his character is supposed to be in my understanding of it. Again, it's probably just a cultural difference, but like, doesn't do shit for me. So whatever. Sorry, nerds.
It was mostly played off as a joke by others, which I love. And CM Punk, who's on commentary this week, said, I will address the Suzuki incident, which I thought that was funny.
See, okay, that's fine. Make it a thing. Like that, and that I love that about AEW, that, you know, if they do misstep, they'll usually deal with it. Like with Chris Jericho wanting to kill himself by fighting Nick Gage after people criticized his cage bump.
Right. Yeah. So there we go. It looks like we're getting a match at Arthur Ashe between Kingston and Mox and Archer and Suzuki. Because the challenge was issued on Dark. It was taped. Sorry, spoilers. And as a result, Suzuki and Archer are going to respond tonight. Yes, or at least they'll be at the show tonight. I like the idea. They do that at Arthur Ashe. Kingston and Moxley versus Suzuki and Archer.
Yeah, like I would like to see more of the Minoru Suzuki versus Moxley stuff, just because I feel like, you know, just got a taste of it with that match. So
have the winners of the match join the G1 for New Japan this year.
Uh-huh.
I like that. I doubt they'll do that, but let's see.
No, but yeah.
Jade Cargill takes on legit Layla Hirsch. It will not be at 9:30 because they finally stopped moving away from that. But if it is at 9:30, then it's going to be at 9:30 Eastern. How much longer do you keep building Jade Cargill?
A little while. I don't think we're there yet. It's tough. You got to figure out how to get her to Britt, right? Like it's tough heel versus heel like that. And Britt's like a tweener, but
they've got to find a way to get Jade Cargill in an actual feud first.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, okay. But here's the thing. Like, this is what using a battle royal to your favor is. You set up feuds. So she's got this thing with Layla Hirsch. She beat up a lot of people in that. We could work into that. Her and Nyla beat someone up. Who was it? Oh, it's Thunder Rosa.
And Thunder Rosa.
I think Thunder Rosa Jade Cargill is a good feud.
So, okay, I agree. I think that's a good feud. The problem is you need Thunder Rosa to go under in that feud. Mm-hmm. Are you okay with Thunder Rosa losing that feud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I am. She had such a standout match with Britt. Like, I don't want to see her get back in the title picture too soon. Because, like, you know, she had her moment and it was very, very strong. And she solidified herself as a star in that. And that's not going away just from one loss to someone who is physically tremendously imposing.
Looks like they're ditching the Storm gimmick. At least they did it on Dark with Jade Cargill. I'm fine with that.
The Zeus thing.
Yeah. It looks like they're starting to move away from that. I'm fine with that.
It's a weird graph. Yeah, it's all good.
Going back to tag teams and taking out people and all this stuff, we just talked about Cargill and Nyla. Who should team with Layla Hirsch for this unannounced tag tournament that we think is happening?
There's that young woman they featured kind of heavily. Like she wasn't in it long, but
Sky Blue.
That would be.
It's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Especially because Layla made a splash in NWA and so does Sky Blue. That's a really good idea. I like that. We should do that. So Layla Hirsch, Sky Blue, they're going to be best friends. Speaking of best friends, there's going to be a lot of bunch of talky talk segments We got Dan Lambert issuing a challenge to AEW, wants them to respond. So who is Team AEW to take on American Top Team and Men of the Year? What do we do? What is this? Who's gonna take on
this Dan Lambert guy? Has gone in such a strange direction to the point he's attacking millennials who are in their 30s.
They're the ones watching the show, Tim.
Yeah, I know it's the right audience, but it's like kind of the wrong criticism sometimes.
Maybe Darby Allin, who's like the most millennial, who's not anxious and a cowboy, to go up against America's Top Team and Men of the Year.
Yeah,
there's a story there.
They have background, and I don't think they did a full-fledged feud with it, so they could return to that. I think that'd be a good place for Darby too.
I don't know who else can really do it. Oh, the Wingman. It should be the Wingman as Team AEW against American Top Team and Men of the Year.
Two different perceptions of manliness, I guess.
Could you imagine? And they're all standing there being like, "This is how manliness should be." It's the manliness Olympics.
The motley crew of ladies' men, and then the alpha males.
I would love it. Daniel Bryce. They're
both just gonna neg each other to death in the middle of the ring.
Thank you for whisking away my mistake there. Bryan Danielson, not Daniel Bryanson. I'm going to keep doing it. Bryan Danielson addresses Kenny Omega again. They'll do a thing. I'm sure it'll be fun. It'll be fine. I like that they're going to get towards Kenny and Bryan eventually. Cool. Mm-hmm. We mentioned CM Punk on commentary. Will he yell and will he make diet soda references?
Yes.
Wonderful. And finally, in the main event, presumably, it's Adam Cole, Bebe, taking on Frankie Kazarian. Adam Cole makes his AEW in-ring wrestling debut. Tim, how much longer can Kazarian be considered the elite hunter?
This turned into the darkest timeline direction that I feared when he started doing this, and they first put out the merch, the like elite hunter sweater.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this has to go somewhere. He can't just keep popping in and never speaking about it and just like being a guy who shows up every time the elite's around, but never actually accomplishing anything. And yeah, that never changed. He's just a guy who shows up as an additional run-in. Like he's never even the first guy to run in. He's just an additional guy to show up. And it's like, it's Frankie Kazarian, the elite hunter. And then that's the end of it. Like,
and there goes Frankie Kazarian. Yeah,
he usually gets his ass whooped too. Like he comes out, he'll do some offense and then kind of get pushed aside or just run away again. So I do like this match though. I want to preface that this sounds like an interesting pairing to me because like with Kazarian and Christian again, like I think Kazarian is one of the older guys who could still go like to his peak. Like he is very, very capable in the ring still. And I think him versus Adam Cole is very interesting.
Yeah. There's nothing else I can really think of for him to do.
Yeah.
But who would be his tag team partner?
Kazarian, I don't know, maybe.
Kazarian.
Yeah. Just bring back, what's his name? Just like retcon all of their what is his name?
Oh, Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels, who we have not seen actually since that great segment on Being the Elite.
That's true. They've done a good job of keeping him off screen. We'll see if he actually comes back or not. But
yeah, hard to say.
He did wrestle, I think.
He can't do Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky's a heel now.
Nope, can't do that. Meanwhile, speaking of heels and weird things, on BTE this past week, they do Adam Cole in the back with Kenny and the Bucks. And Kenny and the Bucks tell him that they created AEW. And they don't mention Cody at all.
Cody feud. Cody title feud incoming.
I think Adam Cole is going to join the Codyverse in some way, shape, or form. Can you imagine those guys when the Elite get dragged into the Codyverse? That's going to be either the best or worst timeline for AEW.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting. It's like a couple of like weather fronts just merging into the perfect storm of.
Oh, I love it.
Who the hell knows? It could be so bad or pretty good.
I mean, Bebe's going to win tonight. He has to.
Oh yeah.
Unless he's cost the match. I don't see any.
I think Cole wins 100%.
Well, if you want to be a winner, go ahead, toss a thumbs up on this video. Leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and share this link around. Tell your friends about us. Why not? And join our Discord. There's a link in the video description of this video if you're watching us on YouTube. we're going to get out of here. We'll be back on Sunday for Realsies. Tim, where can the kids find you on the internet?
They can find me at TimStoneP, TIMBSTONEP on Twitter and Instagram. I might start posting there. I don't know. We'll see.
Can you post on our @TimandJoelPod Instagram too?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I was just
We
gonna
gotta hire someone.
I was just gonna do workout gags for the Tim Stone P one. It might actually be Tim Stone Pile Driver in full.
It is. He's probably shorten that one.
Yeah, I'll just shorten it.
The show is at Tim and Joel Pod. We're not hard to find. Thank you. My segues are as good as I can make them. I am at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl. You can find me there. Join our Discord server, friends. It's free for now. And we're going to talk about wrestling every single day. Whenever there's a show on, we're there. Dan, that I just put up his gimmick, he's one of our mods. And so is Mike, who's also in the chat hanging out. They're our mods, and we're there too. And we'd love to have you there. Come and join us sometime. And until then, if you're not with the Discord, we'll see you on Sunday for another episode where we talk about a whole whack of stuff. And until then, enjoy the rest of the week, folks. Good night.